So I am joined on the line right now with Kensika Monchengo. Kensika, how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you.
Of course, thank you for joining us here on Dublin Edition this afternoon. And you're on today to mostly talk to us about this children's book. It's an African children's story which is now being translated into Irish in order to reflect the diversity in our schools today. Now, tell us about this book. Now, this is a book. It's called Okani and the Crocodile, Queendom.
Queendom.
And
Yes.
as I mentioned, it's been translated into Irish, and it's with the hope of sparking interest of the Irish language among the new communities living and studying in Ireland today. So tell us about this book and how it came to be in terms of why you felt it was necessary to translate this African children's story into the Irish language.
Okay. Well, first, it was just as I have children myself, I'm a parent, so I was reading all those bedtime stories, and at one stage I ran out of bedtime stories, so I started thinking of all the different bedtime stories that my mother used to tell me. So then I just translated because they speak English. They're born and raised in Dublin, 15. So so they speak English. So I had to translate that in English, and then I started reading those stories to them, and if they liked it, I say, "Oh, you like it?" Because I'm aware that they don't have the same background because they didn't never really lived in Africa. Because I'm from Congo, so I'm kind of have those two cultures.
Yeah.
But so the fact that they liked that story, I said, okay, well maybe there's something here. So I wrote that, and because we're in Ireland, so I said, okay, I cannot just write something in English. I have to make sure that it's also in Irish. So I got some professionals to translate the book in Irish, and I got a group of people, a focus groups, mainly with teachers, who looked into that, and they made comments, and then we published it. And the idea really is to introduce Irish communities to children's stories from Africa. That's one. And also to stimulate interest of the Irish language among the African communities by telling their stories in Irish. So when the kids, let's say a kid from African background is looking at an Irish book where they see they are represented in stories from a village, and it's in Irish, I think it will spark a certain interest, even not only for the Irish language, but also for those stories. So I think it's a way for me to try to look at integration, because as you said in the beginning, we spoke about racism, we spoke about negative things, but I think it's also a good idea to focus on the positive things. What are the positive ways that we can actually find a way to bring people together? Because that's what it's about, bring communities together. As we say, it's a two-way process. So again, introducing Irish communities to children's stories from Africa, and also introducing Irish language to African children's through their own stories. So that's what I'm trying to do with those books. Am I making sense?
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, and it really isn't an effective way to promote integration through storytelling. And what can you tell us about the story on this? It's an old African folk tale. Without giving too much away, we want people to actually read the book. But,
Yeah.
Give us a bit of background to the book.
Well,
and the
actually,
story.
it's just a simple tale of a group of little girls going to the river, because in those days they used to go to the river to clean their clothes, and one of them borrowed a ring from a friend, and finally, unfortunately, Okani, the main character, lost the ring. So then she was obliged to go and fetch the ring at the bottom of the river. Finally, she got trapped in the Crocodile, Queendom, and that's where really the story begins. It's a story of somebody going to a known place and using the skills that she had. She was able to come back to the village. So it's about and when she came back, she actually came back with very good things. So there's always a moral to those stories. Sometimes something bad can happen, but it can turn out to be a blessing in disguise. So this is mainly the let's say the idea or the theme of the story in a nutshell.
Yeah, and I saw images of the book online. I saw a video of what the book looks like inside, and it is a very interesting story, and the character sounds very adventurous, and the illustrations are beautiful.
Oh yeah. Well, I had to outsource. I wasn't. I'm not the one who. I think what I want to say is the symbolism of this approach is to literally enter each other's home. Okay, so through the book, we are entering the homes of the host community, i.e. Irish. And also, we are also, I'm trying to say that I'm trying to get a product, we're trying to put out a product that would honor both cultures. By focusing on the Irish language, it's also a way to honor the language, the original language of the community that welcomed us in this country. You see, I think my last sentence, I think the word that I can describe my last sentence is kind of cheesy sometimes, but it's true. The scientific word would be cheesy, but I think it's a reality. It's a reality that we have to find a way to honor the culture of the community that welcomed us here, and we have to be very imaginative. That's why we're finding sometimes people do it through art, through songs, through books, and I personally chose children's books because that's, as you say, they don't really see the difference between people. They are more open-minded. I think introducing them to a different story, different language, different peoples, it's a good way to start for us to start, to building a society where everybody would be seen as normal.
Yeah, so it's all about, in part, about breaking down those barriers between the two communities.
Exactly.
And from what I understand, the book, Okani and the Crocodile Queendom, is the first book of a series. Are you looking to publish a series of children's books that are inclusive of African cultures?
Yes, indeed. This is the first book. We're testing the water, and I know it's very difficult sometimes to promote the book, but I think with this one, I've noticed that a lot of schools, really, especially some of the educate-togethers, seem to be very interested in that type of approach. Because I know I had to drive to Carlow to bring a box over there, and here in Hansfield to get together in Dublin 15. Anyway, so again, I see there's a lot of interest. So I think it's the first of the series. We're trying. We're just testing the water with this one here, and there are so many others that are in the pipeline that we will publish.
It's a lot to look forward to. Best of luck with this series of books. And for those who are interested and may want to purchase the book, where can people go?
For the moment, it's on Amazon. On Amazon. That's the only place you can find it. If you just type Okani and the Crocodile Queendom, or you type Okani Agus, in the Irish version, you'll have it in Amazon as well.